on the back. So the back of our long block assignment, we start with equations of squares and cubes. That would be this set of notes. Okay? Remember that a square is a number multiplied by itself. A cube is multiplied by itself 3 times. So to undo that, we would be finding out what number times itself is equal to what's under the square root, and what number times itself 3 times is equal to the one under the cube root. Okay? So we did example problems where if we had a number squared equals 81, how many solutions will it always have? 2. And then you would just take the square root of that to undo that amount. Now remember, you have to show that it is positive or negative. Some of us missed those problems because we did not write explicitly that it is positive and negative. You could write it separately like this, or you could use a plus minus in front of it. So for this one, how many solutions? This one has 1. In the cube root, remember you press in 3-second caret key. It's 4. For this one, 2 of them, and the square root of 81 is positive or negative 9. There's 1 solution to the cube, so we're going to take the cube root of 216, and that's 6. And then finally, the square root has 2 solutions, and it's positive or negative 7. All right, on the next section, this is going back over scientific notation. Scientific notation was this set of notes, but we also took notes on how to use your calculator, and it's written at the very bottom if you have those notes still. So we press mode, we scroll over to scientific, and we press enter, and it's in scientific mode. Now be careful, because if you need it in standard, you need to just take it out of scientific notation and put it back into normal. So for this one, I wouldn't start with putting it in scientific mode. I would just leave it normal and just type in 5.29 times 10 to the 7th. That's going to be 59 with 1, 2, 3, 6 zeros. At 529. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry. So 529 0 0 0 0 0. So 52,900,000. Well, make sure that you moved your decimal 7 places to the right. So this takes up 2 of them, and then you have to add how many zeros after? 5. All right, now you would put it in scientific notation mode. So go to mode, scroll over to scientific, press enter, and now you're in scientific mode. You can see it at the very top of your screen if you look closely. So now we're just going to type in this number exactly, 10,560,000. So that's 1.056 times 10 to the 7th. All right, now this one says how many times larger. Those keywords means that we're going to be dividing. Make sure that you're using parentheses. A lot of us are not using parentheses when we type them in, or use your fraction button. Fraction is division. So if you type it in as a fraction, you're going to put your numerator as the one that has times 10 to the 13th. So 2.4 times 10 to the 13th. And on the bottom, 2 times 10 to the 7th. Oops. So we should have 1.2 times 10 to the 6th. It says to put it in scientific notation. So you should not be writing the number, you should be writing the notation. All right, on the next section, this was near the end of our last 9 weeks. That was two-way frequency tables. So the table's already filled out for you, and it already has your totals. Okay, so from here, we just need to interpret our information with these questions. So what is the relative frequency? Relative frequency means we take it out of the entire total. The entire total is 50. They're talking about hot dogs with ketchup, which there are 8 of them. So we're going to take 8 divided by 50. And that's going to give you
0.16.
Okay. Now we have to change it to percent because this says percent. So move your decimal 2 places to the right, and it's 16%. All right, out of the people who like hamburgers, what percent like theirs with mustard? So they're only talking about hamburgers. How many total hamburgers were there? 40. How many of them like with mustard? So what's 10 over 40? 0.25, which is what percent? All right. For some reason, some of us skipped this last question on the section. It says, what do people like better, hot dogs or hamburgers? Just look at the numbers. 40 people against 10 people. 40 people chose hamburgers, so circle hamburgers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. This next to last section. This was a few weeks ago. We worked for several weeks on solving equations. You should still have your notes. Your notes look like this. Okay? The rules are still the same. Check for the parentheses, combine like terms, move the variable one side, then solve by adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing. Okay, so we have a variable on each side. Move your smaller variable by subtracting. This cancels. B plus 2 equals 7. Subtract 2. B is 5. All right, the one next to it. Variables on both sides. I'm going to move the negative 7 by adding it. This is going to give you 2m. I'm not going to slow down. Subtract 1. 2m equals 10. Divide by 2. M equals 5. Next one. Move your variable. Well, we have like terms first. So 4 minus 2. That's going to be negative 5 minus 8a. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring down the minus a. Our variable terms are here. I'm going to add 8a to both sides. This cancels. Negative 5 equals 2 plus 7a. I'm going to subtract 2 to get the variable alone. This is negative 7 equals 7a. We divide by 7 on both sides, and that's negative 1 equals a. If you have a positive 1, it's incorrect. One next to it. We have like terms here, so combine the 5 and the 8. Negative 4x plus 13 equals 4 minus x. I'm going to move my variable term. I'm going to add the 4x so it remains positive. This cancels. 13 equals 4 plus 3x. Subtract 4. 9 equals 3x. When we divide by 3, 3 equals x. Next one. This one has parentheses, so we're going to use distributive property first. 5 times 1 and 5 times 3x. 5 minus 15x. And bring everything else down. We're going to move our variable. I'm going to add the 15x to both sides. This cancels. 5 comes down. Bring down your 21. And negative 7 plus 15 is 8. Don't forget your variable. We're going to subtract 21 because we've got to move our constant. 5 minus 21 is negative 16 equals 8x. When we divide by 8 on both sides, we get negative 2. If you have a positive 2, it's incorrect. Next one. Last one for solving. Distribute your 2 and you get 6 minus 12x, negative 7x plus 36. You're going to move your variable term by adding 12x to both sides. This cancels. This is 5x plus 36 equals 6. Subtract 36 on both sides. You get 5x equals negative 30. Divide by 5 and x equals negative 6. All right, now, to identify how many solutions, we do have notes over that also. So if you remember, we color-coded those. That was these here. We decided that we just only need to look for the variable terms first. So remember, if it's different variable terms, it's one solution. Same variable and same constant is infinite solutions. Same variable, different constant is no solution. So very quickly, this one has the same variable, different constants, no solution. Different variables, one solution. Same variable, same constant, infinite solutions.